Hello, everybody. Thank you very much to join me on this Monday. I'm going to sharing of fashion, lingerie, and loungewear for the season 2022. So thank you very much. We would like to understand and describe together the basic trends of the fashion market through the reading of new consumer expectations for an enlightened market. Let's share the change and perspective of this economy under construction. First of all, we need absolutely to understand the sociological and economic context in order to envision the future. So to understanding the context of the market development, it's essential to predicting the years to come. A crucial step is now being played out. Who will change purchasing behavior? The design process, the manufacturing process, and even marketing and communication from brands. This crazy period, the COVID has forced everyone to live together. It allows us all to pamper our interior spaces, to take the time to cook, to come together to support our farmers, market gardeners, local traders. It gave us a long time to deconsume. We have learned to consider the work of others, nurses, teachers, restaurant owners. It infused a new sense of value into expertise. We listened to time, to our rhythm. Listening to nature, we sought put away our wardrobes and rediscovered special finds, realizing that our real needs are much less. We were able to refocus on our values. We have an essential role to play. We will have to relearn how to listen to the world, find the time to really listen to it and fully understand its needs, and better reinvent our economic development and our system. Now is the time to act. The strategy of the situation is also a source of promise for the future, an area for hope, because now everyone can act together. It will be so much more effective in saving our planet, our living environment, our jobs, our projects, and in rebuilding social links. Our fashion industry has an essential role to play. Let's not forget that fashion is one of the most polluting industries in the world. Brands have gone from 2 collections per year to 5, encouraging a 60% increase in clothing consumption. In total, up to 85% of textiles end up in landfills each year. Washing clothes release 500,000 tons of microfibers into the ocean each year, the equivalent of 50 billion plastic bottles. Many of these fibers are made of polyester, a plastic that is found in about 60% of clothing. Polyester production emits 2 to 3 times more carbon emission than cotton, and polyester doesn't break down in the ocean. In 20 years, the price of clothes has increased less than other consumer goods, while their consumption continues to increase. Many brands are launching their environmental responsibility programs, such as Saint Complex with the program React, Simone Perel with Simone Care, and Etam with the program We Care. So it's a lot of all and good initiative, of course. New values appear. The need for nature above all, green environments soothe us. A recent study has shown that we need to see green in order to find peace and refocus our ideas. Building a greener world to find a balance. Changing our priorities in terms of our purchasing behavior in order to reflect our choices. Nourish our commitment and the brands we support with our purchases. Now, society watches and judges what we do. It is rapidly frowned upon to consume too much, Amazon or Alibaba, because we now understand all the pollution is it. Buying with conscience allows us to uphold our values and remain faithful to ourselves, to find our social and personal place in the world. Here you can discover the initiatives are numerous. Germaine Després, Coco, Kokoro, Esquisse, Madame Porte la Culotte, Maison Finou, Néné Paris, Moyakala, Simplement Rêve. Chantel also is mobilizing to produce the first zero waste and 100% recyclable bra. So it's really a good new initiative. Feminist brands like Anna Schaff not only claim a natural feel and freedom, but are committed to responsible process. Many have lost purchasing power by losing their job or having reduced working hours. This is why the economy is picking up, but in a measured way, being carefully and bringing meaning to your purchases. Shopping in solidarity will be an important criterion in this process of consuming less but better. This will deeply influence and change our relationship with others, on our way of recognizing expertise and the work of others. This new consideration will change our relationship with consumption, which we have to find a proper, healthy, and committed balance. Buying in a useful way is going to be a major parameter of choice. This lockdown kept us away from consumption for a long time, with the realization that we could survive and that we didn't need to buy and accumulate. Now we want to buy happy. This crisis made us aware of our ability to adapt and our need to buy with desire and happiness. With this approach, we hope that the consumer will draw all the lessons from this period of deconsumption by readjusting the scales of their purchases. To meet consumer expectation, wanting to give meaning to their purchases and therefore be able to assert unifying values. Consumers will expand their base of consumption by gauging their purchases differently. This doesn't mean that we will necessarily consume less, but in a different way. The new pioneer, the new conquerors, come to life with awareness and panache for a new way of exploring life. Explore your values, your commitment, your home, your land. Recognize its impact and the power of your action. With the arrival of a new deadline on climate change and a new generation of students striking for a green society, the tipping point of public opinion is approaching. The anti-fashion movement is gaining ground, and young startups are taking sustainability seriously, while the luxury sector is finally making promises of good practice. The product must meet certain essential criteria, such as, first, integrity, providing transparency on product, manufacturing, and brand commitment. the functionality of the product, the quality that makes it durable, fostering desire, making us want to invent our money in creative pieces, but its shape, its color, its technicality, its fabric, excuse me. From now on, we will devote a significant portion of our budget to supporting committed and transparent brands such as Simplement, L'Occident, Else Lingerie, and so on. Also, like La Chatte de Françoise, Kokoro, Journal Intime, Maison Le Chabi, which have the common value and objective of providing comfort. The fashion industry has understood the notion of solidarity, so important and unifying to survive this situation in action and in awareness of its role. First of all, brands quickly understood the importance of enriching the economic fabric through design. Distill this notion of solidarity, share and multiply discussion to maintain links with its community, its customers. We learn how to consume in the midst of all these new practices and new information circulating via inboxes. By comfortable, the importance of touch, first of all, this stage of this crisis has physically isolated us from each other. And this is very difficult because we are only human. And so we need to touch and to discover the fabric because we need to imagine it under our skin. We are beings who need to touch, to feel. In the coming months, we don't know what we will have to face. This is why, naturally, and as a precaution, we are going to move to our intermediate purchases. Fashion, lingerie, beachwear, loungewear. Fashion must be comfortable, pleasant, and soft as a caress to accompany its new vocation to support us. Also, we need to buy quality. The importance of giving meaning to our purchases. Faced with the unknown for the coming months, the budget allocated to shopping will not be the same like usual. It will be reduced. Moreover, in favor of food, which play a crucial role during this lockdown, give us the power to act and do ourselves good by buying in solidarity with our producers, fishmongers, butchers, farmers, the opportunity to come together under the same banner. We will rebalance our purchases so we don't just fill up our wardrobes, but to acquire good quality pieces, pieces that make us happy, that accompany us on a daily basis. The social status of fashion will change profoundly, coveting simple, good quality pieces that convey expertise and commitment, revealing even more of ourselves. The sustainable path as a creative and rational response to a world that is now more aware of environmental issues. Slow fashion guarantees working conditions that respect workers, but also respectful clothing for consumers. Our clothes are in direct contact with our skin. All chemicals used in their product, in their manufacture, are likely to enter our body. It's therefore important to choose clothes that don't hide any bad surprises. The sustainable path is a creative path and an alternative for introducing new tools, new ways of doing things and reinventing business, processes, and models like Esquisse, L'Occident, Simplement, or Ma Liberté, like here. We want and need to rediscover the pleasure of doing and sharing. Conscious buying will therefore require more information and about the product. The good thing about this crisis is that it comes at a very critical moment in the definition of societal model. That is to say, just after 19, when the political, economic, and also civil society sectors expressed a real desire for change across the world. Questions linked to the climate problem are major issues that have so far not found radical answers to changing mentalities and practices. This crisis could lead to real transformation and not just a return to normalcy. It is up to us to decide and clarify our choices, to reinvent our priorities. Fashion will no longer be a tool for appearance, but rather a tool for commitment and pleasure, where everyone in their own way can participate in positive actions for a more virtuous, more human economy that's more attentive to needs. And above all, an economy that allows all skateholders in the fashion industry to live with respect. The French psychologist Boris Cyrulnik recently explained that to emerge stronger from this stage, we must share love. That is to say, talking to our loved ones, listening to each other, supporting each other, supporting your favorite brand also, continuing to enrich our emotional fabrics. Reflection. Take this time to reflect on our environment, the meaning of our life and our action to better orient it, and action to feel alive, part of this world and our life. This shift in mindset, in commitment, modifies our relationship with the object, with possession. So the new obsessives. From now on, we will consume in order to build our collection. We don't want only to just accumulate some garments and clothes and lingerie, but we want to really make a collection, our own collection with our own choices, colors, and universe, aesthetic universe at first time. But also we need really to share our engagement also. So faced with environmental issues, manufacturers are interested in slower manufacturing methods, like natural dye. That not, I don't want to say that all brands only now work with natural dye. Of course not. Maybe soon, but not yet. But the idea has to be also very inspired by this, because we are in this timing very special, that we need to be intermediate, and we need to do whole with a lot of softness and a lot of understanding to cultivate our identity, our world, and combines color with all the rest of our wardrobe. So a lot of new neutral appears. In each area of the consumer market, raw materials plus creativity plus expertise are unifying values for healthy and dynamic market. Orient our choices toward local materials, local manufacturing. Learn to work differently, respecting time and fiber growth. Share fiber information. Revolutionize both texture and raw material source. Flowers are larger and wilder and tend to break with tradition. This new approach to floral image creates another vision of the garden and its perennials. A range of bright, colorful, and blooming color. Never before has it been more necessary to get back to basics and cultivate beauty and creative design in order to give life its substantive essence. For new adventurers looking for inner balance, the new hedonist. And lastly, this is an opportunity to take care of our health and emerging well-being, looking at nature to guide us. The energy of fruit and the power of pollen, along with the benefits of roots and strength of stem, are being studied to form a hybrid between new biotechnology and ancient wisdom. Brands and retailers will have to be pioneers, reinventing the customer relationship to breathe new life into the market and find a new balance between brand, retailer, and consumer. First of all, the product will be the hero. Brands will have to frame it with all possible interactions of allure, desire, and knowledge acquisition. The wellness industry are kindly interested in the healing power of natural components, giving beauty products properties. Even perfume will go in this direction, no longer being satisfied with being frivolous and glamorous. This type of intermediate garment can provide simple, almost basic shapes to wrap and support. Be lightweight and subtle at the service of our movement. All our sports, fun, work, and sharing practices. Recently, the use of natural colors derived from planet and woods has grown and has become a real possibility to move away from dyes. The colors are mostly tender and poetic like this color range. The dyeing is done on beautiful quality fabric, giving the delicate colors a noble and a humble beauty. The balance for these new basics is found through tests is the first ingredient, functionality is second, and mass production is third. These parts need much better quality textile to have a longer life cycle. The good news is that the materials are basics and sturdy and won't fall apart anytime soon. For consumers, the appeal of these modern styles in a singular way, combining modernism and personal expression of fashion. We are going to do a focus on the new innovation. Design inspires fashion. Creativity plus transparency as the key to sell and good practices. Brands and distributors will have to be pioneers, reinventing the customer relationship. And the race is on to find a new material to provide the textile with unknown properties to combat the devastating pollution of man-made synthetic. The planet is teeming with material, with material and between the planet is teeming with materials that could have qualities that can stretch, protect, and maybe even grow clothes, and which can be composed after us to avoid further waste. Here you can discover the work of Violaine Bouet. It's from a work from algae. This biotechnology is a source of new materials such as algae. Violaine Bouet-Combera, among others, has worked for many years to harvest, process, and exploit the quality of seaweed to offer material close to leather, natural, weathered, in changing color and new touches. You could discover this talent on our interfilière fair some years ago. Current research considers algae to be a near permanent source of nature. Here you can see the work of Anton Alvarez has created a new circular loom to use the yarn waste, winding to form new furniture. The pieces are put together to give a creative patchwork of hybrid shapes. Alvarez decides on color and structure, while the wrapping machine decides on density and pattern. So it's completely aleatoire. And this is very interesting because producing touring stools, benches, and totem pole. The fashion of vintage and recycling will continue in increasing crazy proposals and avant-garde clothing. It's no longer enough to dress the old-fashioned way. You have to forge an identity from this behavior. That's why the work of Costas Lambridis is so exciting and inspiring. His cabinet is made up of juxtaposed elements reconstituted from wood, plastic, ceramics, and textiles. So it's really an iconic furniture, but it asserts its own identity thanks to its system of juxtaposition and assembly. Pitten Erck works with woods, with love and fetishism. He likes to mix textures and finishes in his creations. He became known by producing the scrap wood furniture series entirely designed in recycled wood. Pieces of wood are salvaged from old chests, tables, chairs, sofa, and even cradle designed for the scrap. In Holland, there is a big tradition of recycling. The old wood looked much nicer than the new, more interesting, with more story and with the past. The designer wants to create a contrast with everyday life where everything is rushed and done quickly. Ideas and design take their time. Do the most with the minimum. Use the leftovers and add a tremendous amount of work. He pays homage to the mix, to the chaos, which he considers to be a source of inspiration. For this project, as you can discover on the Lille exhibition this last year. For this project, employers put cobalt salt on their gloves so that the impressions are revealed during cooking. So it's very interesting because it's only to speak about a human and the human trace, reminding us of how important craftsmanship is in industrial production. Rendering home, Luxio Liu. So this aesthetic, the work of this Chinese designer interweaves cotton, embroidery, flowers, mixing techniques, innovative for new patterns, guarantee added textile value. This art object envisions electronic waste as an unusual but durable textile material, offering a new methodology for textile production. As form of activism, the looks will be made up of many seemingly disparate fabrics and uncoordinated clothing, forming a sort of renew capable of appealing to discerning consumers. Pepe Coupe recycling is at the heart of its approach, transforming waste into a wonder. The idea that we could cultivate patterns in the ground seems like a fantasy, but as designers study the link between biotechnology, agriculture, and design, a new field of sustainable material is emerging. She has worked with biologists and environmentalists to design a 3D printed structure on which she grows and harvests root textiles. This project is a zero waste initiative. which brings together creativity and innovation. Transform damaged clothing of the Helen Fisher brand in accessory rug and cushions, offering a second more accessible business in terms of price positioning. So this is completely new and very interesting to imagine that you can create two different collections. And the second one is, of course, with a recycled fabric and raw material. And so not the same price, but maybe a more beautiful value because it's more virtuous. So to finish, recycling program will develop and emancipate themselves, allowing the consumer to have a virtuous cycle by ensuring that it takes care of the part at the end of their desirability to relaunch them. Today, powerful mobile applications like Clear Fashion allow us to trace the origins of our clothes and their impact on the environment. Soon, we will not be able to miss the information anymore. Faced with this consumption, one of the major problems will remain to reinvent the second life of clothing. We will have to be actors of action to promote know-how, identification of techniques, reconnection of artisans capable of producing quality. The Fashion Revolution Collective launched the Who Made My Clothes movement, which has made it possible to identify all these craftsmen and to promote their work. The right price will be the most difficult balance to find and to reinvent in this new consumption. We are counting on you to write this new chapter with even more humanity and respect for a healthy market. Thank you very much for your attention. I count on you, we count on you to be stronger together. Don't hesitate, of course, to share your opinion and to surf on our new platform. And we hope to be our best with you to accompany our industry. Thank you very much. Goodbye.